everybody, it's Abby from KnifeForkSpoon here, and this is our first live video with kind of the format I'm thinking for the rest of all of our videos. My guess is that we'll typically be doing afternoon videos, just because it's easier in our house for me to get organized, for the kids to be up and moving, and for us to kind of have our groove. So I think what you're going to see over the next who knows how long, I've got lots of content to share with you guys, is afternoon videos. I'll go live daily. I don't know whether it's realistic for me to have a recipe at every live video, but it is realistic for me to have a tip and at least tell you a recipe that that tip would work with. So that's kind of the format we're going to be using. The topic, that's the word I'm looking for. The topic for today is a little word with a big impact. So the bottom line in my house with my children is always one indisputable thing, and that's safety. So safety is the underpinning for everything that we do as a family, and particularly in the kitchen. But there's one other word that's even smaller, has many less letters, only 3 letters long, that I think has a much more profound impact. The kids are sick of hearing me talk about safety and make sure you're safe when you do this and do this because it's, oh, is that a good safe choice? They hate it when I say that, but the word they love to hear is fun. So fun is absolutely kind of the bottom line in the KnifeForkSpoon Kids world. And in the kitchen, fun is the thing that lets them engage. Fun is the thing that lets me not care that the kitchen is a mess. Fun is the thing that allows us to have real conversations, that allows us to say, oh, what did you just say? Tell me more about that, Calvin, or Mom, that was dumb. And so because we're having fun, we are able to take the food and the relationships to a whole new level. So the other thing that's really cool is when kids are having fun, their brain is stretching and it's elastic and it's growing and it's moving, and they don't even realize that they're learning. And so that is the beauty of the kitchen. You can bring math into the kitchen without them knowing that you're teaching them math. You can practice reading skills without them realizing that they're actually practicing reading. You can teach them things that wouldn't necessarily be something that they want to sit down and learn if you do it under the guise of fun in the kitchen. So that is absolutely the thing that has, hey Andrea, that has a super small, super big impact, but a super small word. So keep fun in mind with all that you do. And just one thing, know that fun is different for us than it is for them. They love fun in things like making a mess. And when they wash dishes, bubbles go everywhere. We don't see fun in all of these things. We see fun in getting dinner on the table and making sure everyone likes it, or sitting down after they've left the kitchen and being able to have a glass of wine. So it's going to be a give and take in this regard. And I have just come to terms with the fact that I giggle with them and I have fun with them, and it has changed our relationship and it has changed the bond. And guess what? They love cleaning. They'll never admit this, and you don't have to let them know that you know this little secret, but they love to clean. So the girls are going to make a pancake mix here in just a couple of moments once I do a little bit more talking. This is super fun for them. I mean, we're talking like super, hey Mariana, how are you? We're talking super good time. They get to measure ingredients. That's really fun. If for us, it's like you just do the job, you measure it, you're done. They love to get the hands dirty in the flour. And my guess is you're gonna see that one of my children, you guys can guess which one, will probably put her hands in the bowl, and she'll probably mix the dry ingredients with her hands instead of with the mixing implements that she's given to choose from. That's fun. I let them do that. They always wash their hands before we start, so I don't really care because they enjoy it. The other thing is that when they start to get frustrated, it means that they're not having fun. So the first thing to do, hey Celeste, your pancake is burning, sweetheart. the first thing to do, I have to grab a plate for her, is...
Why did you flip it?
I did flip it, but you need to grab it. Is, hey, Tanner. Totally derailed my own train of thought with a burning pancake on the stove. So let's go back. Where was I? Fun is different for them and us. I have no idea what I was saying. Clearly it wasn't that important. Oh, frustration. That's right, frustration. I keep looking at my notes on my lap. So when frustration happens, it's because they aren't having fun. Remember not to leave that on the burner because that will melt. There you go. Good job. So ask them. Take a moment and say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause you frustration. That wasn't my intention. How can we make this better? And so that's something that has always worked for my kids and I, is if someone flies off the handle, whether it's me or them, because both of that happens, we just pause and we have a discussion about what's happening. Can you say hi? One of my little helpers is ready to make this pancake mix. So that's something to keep in mind. Please stop. That frustration is a signal for you to ask what's going on. And also for me, it lets me know they clue me in on bad habits. They clue me in on things that aren't productive for our relationship. So use those mirrors if you want to, because they teach you a ton. Depending on how old your kids are, here's some things that they think are fun. My girls love to organize the utensil drawer. We have 2 drawers of utensils, and they sometimes say, can we organize them? I'm like, oh God, I haven't mopped the floor in 3 days. Go for it. So they pull everything out, they organize them the way they want all over the floor, and then they put them back in. And typically I usually wash them afterwards, depending on what's been happening on my kitchen floor. It's the Pacific Northwest. It's raining. The floor is dirty. They get washed. So let them organize utensils. Let them measure dry ingredients, even if it means you give them a Ziploc bag. This is one of the things that we have. We have a Ziploc bag of flour. Make it their flour, and they can play with it all they want. They can organize it and measure it and dump it in a bowl, and then pour that bowl. Hey, Lisa, pour that bowl back into the bag when they're done. And so this is something that they can have complete control over, and they can really enjoy. So measuring ingredients out, organizing utensil drawers, and then there's this really cool tool. Let's see if I can find it right away, called a crinkle cutter. We're going to talk a lot about crinkle cutters. This thing is awesome. The kids love it. It's safe to use. It's the first thing to do when introducing knives, which we're going to talk a lot about knife safety at one point. But give them a crinkle cutter and say, make a salad. You may end up with things like graham crackers on your salad. It's a real possibility, especially if you give them free reign of the pantry. They're going to love it and they're going to eat it. And you might find out that you like graham crackers with your balsamic vinegar dressing. So it's just one of those things of be open to what they want to do, because fun really is the thing that makes the difference in the kitchen for both you and them. It's what makes them want to come back, and it's what makes it bearable for you to have them in here with us. So a couple of things based on all the feedback I got on the first welcome post this morning. That was phenomenal, you guys. Cliff, I love your idea of recipes. I don't know if it's realistic for me to do a recipe with every post, but we are going to do recipes. I'll put them underneath the video once it's posted, and I will also, as much as I can, do live demos of the recipes. So today we're going to do a dry mix pancake recipe because the girls love this, and you're going to watch them, how they measure, and how I'm going to ask them questions. So you'll see how they make decisions in the kitchen about which utensils to use. And sometimes they surprise me at the things they say. So it's really cool when you ask them, you can get a peek inside their mind and know how they're thinking. The other thing is, I saw a ton of comments about patience and control and having enough patience, particularly when we are super busy, and giving up control. It's really hard. This is my kitchen. Yes, my kitchen. So for me to invite the kids into my kitchen is a really big deal, but I have to give up control in order for us to be successful. So we're going to talk. I'm going to move that. That was in my list of topics a little bit further down, but we're going to move that up a little closer to the top so we can have that discussion a little earlier on. Knife safety. I had a real quick lesson I was going to do with that, but I'm seeing a lot of comments about parents wanting to know how knife safety can be done safely and concern about kids not using knives safely. So I'm actually going to create a mini course that I'll just and you guys will watch the kids record it with me. So we'll be able to see, and I'll be able to share with you the progression of knives. And all of my children use knives at this point. When it comes to super sharp knives, only my 9-year-old uses them, but my 6-year-olds do use knives. And we've gotten there over the course of years. It's been a great learning, hey Kayla, a great learning experience for them. If you have a child who's really proficient in the kitchen and you're interested in having them be a guest and share their secrets, let's PM and have that discussion separately, because I think it'd be really cool to offer other children that opportunity. And one of the things that we're also going to talk about in depth is when you're in a hurry and you don't want them here, how can you engage them and have them be productive for you so they're doing something to save you some time? Because there's a huge secret in that. So with no further ado, hey, Charlotte and Celeste, will you come please be my helpers? I'm going to rearrange the camera real quick and have the girls come make pancakes for you. And I'm going to engage them. You probably won't see me anymore, but you're going to see them doing the cooking. This is a recipe we've used for a really long time in our house. It comes from Spend with Pennies, their blog. I'll post the link to their blog in the notes below. So here are my 2 helpers. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to address them. Here we go. Okay, let's see. I can't move the comments very easily right now, but I know Charlotte likes to watch herself when she's cooking. Okay, so here we go. We've got our little helpers. So the thing that we're going to work on, girls, is we're going to make pancakes. So
first, I'll put in this.
What is that?
It is baking powder.
It's baking powder. That's right. You need 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. So you need 3 of those.
Okay. And 1 of these.
And you have the salt, Celeste. That's right. And you need 1 of those. And then you guys can trade and help each other with that.
Full, Mom.
Looks good. So here's a really fun fact is the kids are going to, hey Mike, the kids are going to put in, go ahead, you guys can keep doing your business. The ingredients the way they measure, and sometimes it's different than we would measure, and sometimes it tastes different, but they love it anyway, so I just roll with that.
How many did you put in there? 3. How much did you put in there?
So another thing you'll notice is that I have,
1.
Each girl has her own bowl and her own set of utensils to use because sharing can be really difficult. So they're each taking the ingredient that they're working with, and then they're doing it, and then they're teaching their sister what they're doing. So they finished with the salt and the baking soda, and Charlotte's going to move on to the sugar. So Charlotte,
how much of this do I need?
What does your measuring spoon say? Measuring spoon says 2 teaspoons, and you need 1.5 tablespoons. So you need 3 of those.
3 of these?
Yep. So if the girls were a little older, I would have gone through some unit conversions with them there, but she's not ready for that. So I just gave her a 2 teaspoon measure, and I need 1.5 tablespoons, so off we go.
I did 4, 1 was lit. The 4 one was lit because that's how I love that.
Okay, you want extra sugar. We'll see how that works for you. So Celeste, you're going to do 1 teaspoon of that. Charlotte, what tools do you have here that you can choose from for mixing?
1. Spatula!
A spatula. Have you done the sugar, Celeste?
Spoon!
And a spoon. Have you done the baking soda, Charlotte?
What? No.
Okay.
How much baking soda did you put in this? This is how much baking soda did you put in? 1 scoop. This baking soda is really 4.
You did 4 sugars too? Okay, it might taste different. Remember, sometimes it's important to follow the recipe. And after you understand the recipe, then you can change it. Okay, now you guys need 2 scoops of flour. Oops, it looks like I lost Charlotte in the picture there somewhere. Sorry about that. So you'll see the girls are using a knife to level the flour off. And this is something that they've loved to practice. Sometimes they use their fingers, sometimes they use a knife, kind of whatever they're in the mood for. And I don't really argue with it one way or the other. Awesome. Puff. Okay, Celeste and Charlotte, what tools do you have to mix up your flour?
Yes.
You have a spatula? What other things do you have?
I have a whisk and a spoon.
Why did you choose the spoon, Charlotte?
It works, and this is for doing this.
Okay. So I always give the kids a variety of tools to use, and this morning when they were mixing the dry mix into actual batter, they both thought that a spatula would be really great, and it didn't work out quite as well as they had planned. So they learned that a whisk was really a useful tool. So that is our dry pancake mix
And now
recipe.
we need water.
Well, we're not going to actually make that right now. We're just going to do the mix, but we'll save this so you guys can make pancakes. And so in the grand scheme of things, the table actually isn't really, if I can use my camera backwards, oh my gosh, this is hard, isn't actually that dirty. So it's a dry rag, or it's followed by a wet rag, which the kids love to spray. It'll clean that up. So it worked out really well. Did you guys have fun making this?
Yeah.
Oh, Celeste snorted. I don't know what that means. I guess I better be careful with the questions I ask on the live video. So that is it. Today's little word with a very big impact is fun. I'll put some notes and stuff under this post. And we will see you guys tomorrow live in the afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Hey, thanks, Mike. It's true. They really are engaged. So much appreciate you guys. Have a good one.